Hey everybody, welcome to Drive Thru Review 375. Today we're going to talk about Super Motherload. Now this is based on a video game of the same title. This game is published by Roxley Games, plays 2 to 4 players, and is basically a deck building game, but there's a lot more going on around the deck building. Basically players are mining corporations, mining Mars for various rare minerals and things, and then upgrading their different mining pilots, and also unlocking achievements, which is like a very video game sort of idea, and that's a big part of the game. So let's take a look at how the game works, and then I'll come back and tell you more of what I think. Okay, here you can see just about everything that you get in the game. If we zoom in here, we can see the starting board. You've got the surface of Mars up there, and then underneath you've got various little sectors that you're going to be mining and also bombing to excavate the different minerals. You can see there's some gold minerals, some black ones and white ones, and there's little gems and things as well. These boards actually are double-sided, so you can randomly do this or have one of the players choose these, and as new boards come out, we'll move one up just a little bit here. So we'll go here to, you can see it says depth 2, and these are also double-sided. So the way that you trigger a new level from being unlocked is when you explore all of the artifact spaces. These are these little skulls here on the board, then you'll reveal the next board. And so the game comes with these different pieces here, different lengths and sizes. Depending on what card you activate, you can excavate, like I said, or bomb different areas. So we can start digging down, and then you can piggyback on other holes that other folks have dug or bombed out. And then you can unlock and get all the different minerals that you uncover, as well as the artifacts, and these are going to just trickle down till you get to the bottom. Now, how do players go about bombing and drilling and excavating these different minerals and artifacts? Well, each player is going to have a deck that they're going to start with, just like any other deck building game, but you have your own sort of personal supply of cards that only you can purchase from. So you can see these cards here are for the purple player, and they have their own set of cards. They have their starting cards, some of the cards they can upgrade to, all in their deck, and there's, one for each of the different colors. Here we have the green player set up. So there's always going to be 4 stacks of cards, and you can see the different colors: blue, red, wild here, and yellow. Wild kind of looks like yellow. So as you play the game, you'll be able to purchase cards out of these stacks, sort of starting from the top and then going down. Now each player has here a starting hand, or excuse me, starting deck of cards, and you can see you have various different colors and icons, and everything is pretty much the same as other players, but there are some slight differences, so everything's not exactly the same. So you can see here you've got a blue drill and a yellow drill, and then this gal here, she has a red drill, but she's also got a little bomb icon, so this kind of shows you the pattern that she can bomb. So what you're going to do to start the game, everybody shuffles up their starting deck, and then you draw 4 cards. So you always have 4 cards, and then you can take 2 actions on your turn. Now one of the actions can be to simply draw 2 cards off the top of your deck and add them into your hand. The other action that you can do is to drill, and when you drill, you need to play cards that match. So if I wanted to drill, I'd need to play 2 blue drills together or 2 red drills. And of course, these wild drills here, these can be added to, substitute for any color. Now the other thing you can do is you can actually bomb. So let's take a look at her here. So you can see this is the pattern that you can bomb on the board, and there are different bomb patterns that you can enact there. So that's the other third type of action you can do, is you can bomb. So you can draw 2 cards, make a drill action, or make a bomb action. If we zoom in a little closer, you can see each player starts with 1 bomb, and any time that you go and make a bomb action, you actually also have to discard a bomb to go with it. Now there is some different terrain under the crust of Mars. So most of it's going to be dirt. So you can have red dirt there or blue dirt, and that can be bombed or drilled. So let's say we wanted to do a drill action. We spend these 2, then you take the number of drill icons that you put out there, and then you take something of that length. So we did 2, so you can see this is 2 spaces wide. And to start the game, somebody's got to come off the surface here, so they could just, let's say they drill down here, so they could get a gold mineral and then a black mineral. Now these little plated areas, you can drill through these, but you cannot bomb through these. These rock areas, these super heavy rock areas, you can't drill through those, but you can bomb those. Otherwise, if it's dirt, you can do either one. So if I drill down here, I'm going to take each of those tokens there. So I'll take a yellow and a black, and you can see there, those are going to be worth $5. So I take all of those at once, and then I have to choose one of the stacks to put these on. So these $5 you can see here are going to pay for one of the different types of cards that I can add. So let's go ahead and we can buy this wild guy here, or excuse me, add the money to the wild here. Now as soon as I get enough or more money on this particular guy, then he's going to go immediately to my discard pile. Now some of these cards have these little icons here at the bottom. So that means instead of going into your discard pile, when you buy this, it goes right into your hand. And you can see all of these have various different icons at the bottom. When you buy her, she lets you take an additional action. So you can maybe get a third action on your turn. This guy here will give you a bomb when you buy him. So anything that's on the bottom of these purchase cards is going to happen at the instant that you purchase them. So as you drill and excavate and bomb, you're going to have to decide where to distribute your money. And every time that you get something off the board, you've got to decide one card for them to be on. So it's a little bit of an optimization thing. It's very interesting to try to explain this, but you try to grab up the good stuff, but you kind of don't want to overspend. So if I really want to add a bunch here, you might slough it off a little bit to the next guy because you only need like an extra buck. So why get a big gem and that's worth $10 and put it on him to make up the difference? That's a waste. So you might start spreading stuff out and then be able to sort of trigger a couple on your turn. Now the other thing to notice here with these cards is all of these cards are worth victory points at the end of the game, and this is one of the main ways that you can get victory points. And you can see as you go down through the stack, you're going to get more victory points. So this one costs $25, but it's worth 10 victory points and so on. And the bombing action is very similar here. So if we did this little square bombing action and we discarded a bomb token to the supply, then we need to make that shape. Now the shapes and things you can make are pretty intuitive. I mean, it's basically common sense. So once you've drilled a hole or anybody else has built a hole, then you can daisy chain off of being adjacent. So I could do this one here. There's a square shape, you can see that, or I can do it up here. As long as you are adjacent orthogonally, sort of along an edge, you can do it legally, or if you're orthogonally along the edge of the top. You don't do it diagonal, that doesn't quite work. And again, you have to keep in mind the terrain, so we wouldn't be able to bomb this shape because of these two steel plated areas there. So you do that and you collect everything underneath. You can see a couple things. These allow you to draw cards. So if I cover that, I can draw a card or draw two cards. And then of course you can cover up these artifacts, get an artifact, or you can get bombs and other things. And these artifacts will be off to the side in a face down pile. You get these and then you just keep and look at them, and you can spend these anytime you want on your turn for free. It doesn't cost an action. And these give you all kinds of things, extra money, extra, actions, bombs, all victory points for the end of the game, and so on. And as I said before, as soon as all of the artifacts are covered up on a given board, you're going to take the next level depth, whoever covered that up, and then you can just flip and choose which side you want, and then append that one here, and so on. And then as soon as you cover up all of the artifacts on the next one, then you go to the next one. Now in a two-player game, you skip depth 3 and you go right to depth 4, otherwise you use all 4 of them. And as you can see here a little bit, you get a little bit better stuff at the bottom. So let's go to the depth 4. As you can see, we get some more gems, in different spots here. So they're going to get a little bit more money to buy those bigger and better pilots. Now speaking of pilots, let's take a closer look at some of those upgraded pilots, and then we're going to talk about the achievements, which is another big way you're going to score points. So let's take a look at our wild stack here for the green player. Now some of these other pilots can do other things. So of course he's a wild drill, so that's nice because you can match him up with any of the other colors. But whenever you play this guy for a drill action, you get some extra benefits here. You get to actually draw a card, and this says whenever you use him for a drill and then you get the little money tokens there, then you don't all have to put them on one, which can be very handy. You can spread them out as you wish. And then this one here is select any minor achievement card in play, place it face down on the bottom of the minor achievement deck, and then you replace it with a new one. So you can kind of screw people over with this one and take one away that they may be able to achieve, or one that you may not be able to achieve very quickly. There's some other ones here. He lets you draw a card. Sometimes they will give you a new bomb and things. That's some of the differences in some of the decks, is some of these different little special abilities that you get, you know, whenever you buy the card as well as whenever you play the card. But everybody has the same 4 colors and then a set of wild colors. Now, speaking of achievements, there's 2 types of achievements. We've got major achievements and minor achievements. So first, let's talk about the major achievements. These all have to do with the types of pilots that you purchase. You're always going to deal out 3 of these, and then the rest you're going to put away back in the box. You're only ever going to have 3 of these. But the way that you get these, you can see here, is 3 red and 3 wild cards purchased. So as soon as you purchase 3 red and 3 wild, you take this, you get 5 points at the end of the game. Now these minor achievements, there's 20 cards in here, and then as these are collected, new ones are going to come out, and you can see these are also worth points at the end of the game. And these are kind of cool, nifty, crafty things that you can kind of try to do during the game that don't necessarily have anything to do with the theme in a sense, but it's kind of interesting. It's like a video game. So this one is 9 cards in your hand. So if at any point you have 9 cards in your hand, you can collect this and get 3 points. This one here is, it says, at least 5 platinum, and you can see there's the type, it's the white gem or mineral. At least 5 platinum tiles between all your pilot stacks, because remember, you're going to distribute these. So as soon as you have 5 of those distributed, you can take this and get it. And so here's one with, you know, 1 of each pilot purchased. This is a different distribution of the iron or the black mineral. And there's a few other different ones here. We can take a look here. Perform a drill action using at least 4 cards. Drill at least 2 steel plate spaces in 1 action. All these kinds of different things you kind of try to set yourself up to do, in addition to getting money and purchasing the pilot cards, which are going to give you victory points as well and give you better capabilities. Okay, that's basically the game. You're going to play until the very last artifact space is covered up, and then everybody's going to add up the points from the pilots they've purchased, from the achievements they've collected, maybe some points out of the artifact pile there, and that's how it works. Okay, so what do I think about the game? Well, I enjoy it quite a bit. Let me talk about that a little bit. So there's different player counts, first of all, 2, 3, and 4. I'd say I like it definitely for sure with 2 and 3, and 4 I'm not too sure about. Now the reason is because the way the game unfolds is as you dig tiles and you start to excavate, you're going to set your opponents up to possibly grab stuff that's better than what you grabbed, because you need to dig down a little bit. You get like the cheap minerals and a bomb or something, but then you say, oh wow, I set up Billy to go and grab the gem and he gets to draw 2 cards. You know, he gets a little bit better of an impact with whatever he decides to do with the drilling and the bombing. Now it gets interesting as you get down into the lower levels, because some of the other terrain, the plates and the rocks, come into play, and it's kind of cool because sometimes you'll get, okay, a rock and a plate, and it's like, well, I can drill one and I can bomb the other, but I can't do vice versa. So it's kind of tricky that way, which is kind of cool. So you're setting yourself up, setting your opponents up, which is really cool. It's a very interesting, you know, concept in games where I'm going to do a little bit and then you're going to piggyback on top of me. So I've got to be a little bit careful about how much I set you up. Now with 4 players, the game board kind of changes pretty dramatically around the board. So it's hard to go from turn to turn. So it feels like you're just kind of tactically playing your hand, which isn't horrible, but it's just, you can't really sort of gear yourself to get to the achievements as easily as you could. You kind of have to sort of have them land in your lap a little bit. But with 2 and 3 players, you can do that. You can set up a little bit. You know what's in your deck. The deck building is a little bit more important with that amount of players. And as you kind of learn, you know, what's in the different decks and, you know, what the different achievements are, you can see little patterns and you know, little puzzles kind of form and break away as you play the game. You're like, okay, if I do this, I can get these guys will be worth points. I can get that major achievement. But then, because this guy lets me do a draw a card and a bomb, I know I've got a good shot of drawing the other cards. I can go trigger that. And then that'll give me this minor achievement, because I'll have, you know, I'll get these extra monies that I can put out on, you know, the different guys, or have a bunch of cards in my hand, or whatever the little combo I might be able to pull off is. So that's really awesome. I like that. It feels very video gamey again with like the achievement thing. And I like it because it feels like you're pulling off like a trick. You know, if you think like skateboarding or snowboarding or something, you do some kind of fancy trick with a little, you know, pizzazz to kind of, you know, wow the crowd. That's what it kind of feels like. You know, yeah, you're mining for minerals, but then, hey, look at this cool little 360 I did. And then, you know, I got a little achievement unlock. So thematically, it doesn't really feel like you're mining Mars, but it feels like you're playing a video game about mining Mars. But I think that's kind of what they're going for. I mean, I expect it's based on the video game, and it's got achievements, so I think they were really going for that, and I really like how that gets pulled off. It's just really tricky and kind of lucky to do it with 4 players War of 2 and even 3, you can kind of, you know, make a little bit better of a plan for it. But it's really cool because, like I said, you have to take an action to draw a card. So once you can get in and sort of set up the little nice string of, you know, then you can do the cool little combo. That's very satisfying and very fun. And it's a very different deck building feel. I like the brinkmanship, you know, part of, you know, I'm piggybacking off of your tunnels and stuff, because that, just that the way that that's combined with the deck building and then scoring these like oddball combos that really are at odds with what I'm trying to do on the board sometimes, that's cool. It's like these puzzles kind of come and go, and you have to sort of pick and choose and try to worm your way around and score a lot of points. So it's very fun. It feels like it's got that very sort of satisfactory you know, combo thing going on. So anyway, that is Super Motherload. Definitely take a look at it. I should make a nice comment about all the art and everything. I really enjoy the art on the cards and the components and everything, but I hate the art on the box cover. I don't know why. But I think it's the same artist. I don't know why I hate the cover, but it's just a weird departure. But once you open the box cover, and I only say this because I think people might look at the box cover and be turned off by it, but once you open it up and look at it and all the cards on the art on the pilots and everything is really cool. I really like it. So that is Super Motherload. Definitely take a look at it. Oh, I was going to make a comment about the time frame. 75 minutes is maybe with 4 players. Even then, that would be a long game, I expect. But if you're playing with 2 and 3 after you've played it, you know, 45 minutes. Probably half hour with 2 easily. So you can definitely break this out as a nice filler for like a 2-player game and stuff. All right, that's it. Thanks.